Alright guys, so we've got a, this is actually the main PGM-FI relay for a 97 Accord or 96 Accord. I diagnosed this as a failed main relay. I told the customer I could fix it if he could wait for me to bring it home and mess with it. So this is the unit here. These are a pretty simple setup. This is just a way to integrate multiple relays into one board that work off of each other. So basically these are two standard relays. They're just on-off switch relays. There are three diodes that direct current. There's one large ballast resistor, so a 3 watt 42 ohm resistor, and then two relays. So what fails on these, let me show you. It's pretty easy to see it once you see it. Let's see, right there. Grab a little pointer here for you. If you look right there, that solder joint is all kinds of cracked. I don't know if it shows up well on the camera, but there's discoloration around that. See how nasty it looks, and you can see it's kind of cracked in a couple of the solder joints. This is a really old Honda. It's pretty common, so this thing would stall and sometimes it just wouldn't start. Usually to test these, which sounds dumb, a real quick way to give yourself direction is if it's no fuel when it won't start or when it dies, because this controls the fuel pump. What I do is I start them up and then I just literally tap this module with a wrench. If it dies, we're probably looking at some issue like this. Then you can just jump off of the corresponding pin up here, and then when you give it a little tap, if it loses its voltage coming out and its voltage supply in is good, then you know you have a problem. So normally what I do is I set my voltmeter up on volts, and then I attach to the pin for here, which is this pin, which is the output of the relay, and then the voltage supply of the relay is this pin here. So if you do the voltage here and you've got 0 volts, you tap it and it goes to 12, your differential voltage changed, so you know that this circuit is dropping voltage inside the relay, which makes it pretty simple to test these. So to fix this, what we're going to do is reflow this solder. What makes this all challenging is this was some really weird low or zero lead solder, so it's difficult to melt sometimes. So we're going to give it a shot here, and we're going to use, we're going to add back some liquid flux to it when we do this. So normally to melt low solder, I'll actually take solder, make sure I clean the tip off real good, get it real good and tinned. You see it's nice and shiny. We'll add some solder to it. We'll add some solder to that. Usually allows the whole thing to melt. Yeah. Once we get some of that lead solder in there with it and mix it, makes it much easier to melt. So we can take handy dandy solder sucker here and get that all nice and heated, and we'll suck it out. Now we're going to go ahead and repair all the solder joints on these 4 relays. Yeah, see, it doesn't want to melt it unless we take and add some conventional solder to it. Get it nice and hot. I'll get this relay pulled off the board here, and then I'll show you what they look like. There are 2 different relays, one 4 volt unit on here and then one 12 volt unit. Add some more to that. Nice and melted. You can see it kind of spitting when I get it heated up. That's because these 2 different solders are not the best of friends. So clean the tip of my gun off. Over. Let's see if it hasn't exactly worked itself all the way free yet. I think I've gotten most of the solder off. Yeah. So kind of work it a little bit and it comes off. So you can see this is the 4-volt one. See if I can get it to focus. Focus, focus. There we go. RC5401. The 12-volt unit is RC5402. So, let's see. Got it all cleaned up there. Take the soldering iron back. To get the remainder of this solder off. It also, this low or no lead solder stuff does not like solder wick. We're going to give it a shot anyways. Just to do a little more cleanup around the area. That actually pulled up really well. This is where having a nice setup with like a board clamp would be very helpful. Alright, I think that's clean enough. Yeah. So we'll clean the tip up. Again, this is just an inexpensive repair. A new unit, I think it's 75 or 80 bucks. Told him I'd fix this one for much cheaper, especially since if he could wait, I wasn't going to do this out in the cold. So we're going to try to heat this post up first. Yeah, got about the same height there as the other one. Heat up this post again, this other one. Fill the pad. Okay, that one looks good. Open this up. This Kester solder that I use has quite a bit of flux in it, but it's alright. Get it nice and post nice and heated up. We'll go again, last one. Don't think it's hot enough. It's not pulling into the... There we go, the pad wasn't very hot. We don't know how I'll feel about that one. Reheated it a few times and it doesn't seem to ball up any differently. It acts like it didn't have much flux in it to start with. So we'll go ahead and desolder that post. That's the problem child anyways. And then we'll reflow some more into it. I think this camera just doesn't want to focus in on it. Just now kind of realized you guys weren't seeing what was going on. Alright, so there's that. It's much better than before. See if you can kind of see. Get it to focus. There we go. Now we're going to redo this other one as well. We're going to go ahead and desolder this relay and resolder, and then we may do the ballast resistor, which is these two down at the end here. Let's just go ahead and do a full rebuild on this since I'm videoing it. Add a little solder. Add that. Add a little solder. I'm not going to desolder these ones. You know what? Yes, I am, because just not a big fan of the solder that's in these. Yeah, see how it just spurts when it hits it? That's junk inside of it popping. So let's go ahead and just... Since there may be quite a bit of this stuff left on there. Where am I? My dry brush. Go ahead. Go. Go ahead and do this ballast resistor real quick. I keep forgetting you guys can't see this. I want to get a better camera setup for this stuff. So you can see we did the other relay now. I haven't cleaned up the flux off of it yet. But we're going to do this ballast resistor down here. We're going to go ahead and heat that up. Pull that off. See if it needs to. There we go. Alright, I gotta set it up like this. Sorry, guys. Not used to. I'll find a better camera angle for you guys. Since I don't want this ballast resistor to fall off either, I'm gonna use some wick to clean up. See if it'll focus. Use some solder wick to clean up the rest of this area. Then I'm gonna fix the one leg of it and then resolder it, and then I will go to the other one. I have to get a better camera setup for you guys on this because it does not want to focus. Alright. Let's see if I can move this camera for you guys here at the end of the video. I don't want to reshoot it, so you're going to get what you get kind of situation. So I'm going to go ahead and redo that pad right there. Let that dry. Tip. I'm going to go ahead and add some to this side. Alright, we'll clean all this flux and junk off this board. Grab a wet brush. Clean all this up. All right. See if I can get it to focus. No, yes, no. There we go. And then what I'll do is I'll take a before and after. Well, I already didn't take a before, but I'll take an after photo, and then we'll see if I can take a still from before. All right. So that is one repaired PGM-FI Honda relay. Let's test it real quick. Okay, so these are the, just so you guys got an idea what's going on here. Get it to focus again. I'm gonna have to do something with the camera. Maybe get a camera design for focusing in like that. Come on. There we go. All right. If you look at this, this is one pin. All right. We're going to have to just deal with that to focus right now. Because, all right, so this pin and this pin of the relay are the switch side. They're the coil in here. So you can energize those positive, negative interchangeably, and it will allow these two pins to have continuity or connect. So, like, I think this pin is supplied with voltage at all times with key on, and then when these two get power and ground one way or the other, it energizes the coil and pulls these two together internally, so then this one should get power as well. Same over here. These two are the switch side, connects those two together. I don't have my voltmeter in here, but we're just going to check to make sure the relays click, and I'll show you kind of what I'm talking about. They would have clicked before, even if they were bad, so we're not going to really test it. But if we look at this trace, one switch side goes over here. This is one pad, goes to this back pin, so here. The other one goes over here to this, through this diode to this trace to here, which is the pin next to it. So we should hear an audible click. Alright. And then on the other side, We have this pin here. Follow this trace over to this one, which is the back pin. So we'll add something to the back pin. The forward trace comes around over, goes to this diode. This diode, I believe, goes to this jumper. Yeah. To this jumper, which has this trace that goes actually to the supply side of this, which is the same as the pin over here. Click. No? Yes? Was I wrong? Ah, top one. So the relays click. That doesn't mean they work, but the coils inside are good. This car ran and drove until you smacked this relay and then it died. So there's another quick and easy repair for you guys, and we'll see you next time.